Hello, it's Malaika. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm moving into my third bullet journal. I'll show you how to break in your hardcover notebooks so that you don't damage the spine, and then I'll do a time lapse of me setting up this planner. If you just want to skip to the flip through and the explanation of the pages that I do put in, then check out the description below and I'll leave the timestamp for you there. If you want to see what the bullet journal looks like after I've put it to use in my life for a whole year, then check out my previous video where I flipped through my second bullet journal. You can use any notebook for your bullet journal. I use a hardcover Leuchtturm 1917. If you're also using a hardcover notebook, then you might want to break in the spine like I'm doing here, just opening the covers and then taking 10 pages from the front, pressing them down, 10 pages from the back, pressing them down, and alternating back and forth until you get to the center of the book. This will ensure that you don't damage the spine of your book, and it will also allow your book to lay flat on its own a lot sooner. All right, let's do a quick flip through of my new bullet journal. I started with putting in my key, and then as I go along, I will populate the index list. I left this page blank so that I could put in my new vision board as I create it. This is my future log where I use a pencil to just mark down what the things are that are coming up. For my general calendar, I use Google Calendar, but having this gives me a glance of the next 6 months. This is where I'm going to brainstorm about my web presence, my blog, my website, YouTube, and newsletter. Here I'm taking the advice of Rachael Cook, who is a kind of business guru for heart-centered entrepreneurs, and she says that before you launch any major project, make sure to have 100 conversations with people who represent your demographic. So this is where I'll put the name of each person that I have a conversation with about a major upcoming project that I have, and then I'll put a little marker so I know what page my notes are on. Down here is where I'll put some of the types of questions that I'll be asking them to help me get a better sense of their needs and how my project aligns with what they want. This is where I just have these little bubbles to represent some of the places that I'm thinking of going and doing wellness offerings. And so I want to go back through my notes and put in all my friends, family, contacts, just to get a sense of some of these places and what my network is looking like. This is where I'm planning out, well, this is not where I'm planning out my wedding, but my fiance and I are working on getting our wedding together for June, and we have a whole Google Drive folder, but this will give me a kind of timeline. So I'm gonna just have some key points and things that we're trying to do by these months so that we're ready for June. Now, that is all the stuff that I brought over or created new because this is a new bullet journal. At the beginning of every month, this is what I do. I set up a page for the month, and here I just used a coloring book page. It's a mandala that I photocopied and had extra, so I thought this would be a beautiful way of showing you how you can add some art to your bullet journal without having to draw it out yourself. You can color it in. And then I created a gratitude log so I could just write one line each day that I'm grateful for, and I continued with the little mandala in the corner. This is my monthly focus, and a lot of the things from this month of October are making their way over to the November list. And that's one thing I love about the bullet journal. When you have to migrate over your tasks, it really shows you what you're procrastinating on or not making time for, so that you can start to prioritize those things. So that's where this is where I'm gonna put in some of these areas that I wanna pay attention to this month. And then using that focus list and my master lists, which are online, I will then prioritize what is important for the next upcoming week. So this is the page that I'll turn back to throughout the week next week, and using these little bookmarky things. There's 2 in here, so I can keep one at least on this page, and that will help me to find it and come back to the tasks that I have to do. The mind dump is simply for tasks that come up but aren't really for next week. They just come up next week, and then I can know what they are and put them in my master list so I can do them when it's the right time to do them. This is what I call my higher self tracker, where I track my habits, and I'm not great about all these habits, but I'm really trying to stick with tracking in one way or another so that I can keep recommitting to these habits every week. Last but not least, waiting on. This is simply where I put what I'm waiting on, whether I'm waiting on payment from somebody for something or I'm waiting on a reply about a possible meeting time. This helps me to see what are the things that I need to follow up on later that week or maybe in the following weeks. So that's it. That's how I set up my bullet journal. That's how I set up my new bullet journal. And if you have any questions at all, if you have any comments, please write them down below. Like this video if you're into it and you want more bullet journal information. And remember to subscribe to my channel for lots of yoga and meditation content, as well as information about how to organize your life so that you are really caring for yourself in the process. Thank you so much for sticking with this video, for getting to this point in the video, and I hope to see you next time.